What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Cleveland Pulse YouTube channel. I am your host, Justin Harold, and with me, as always, my co-host, Jeff Santa. Today, we are bringing you the Week 15 matchup for your Cleveland Browns, or what could be called half of the Cleveland Browns, I guess, at this point in time, for your Saturday, December 18th matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders. 7-6 Browns, 6-7 Las Vegas Raiders, with the Browns facing a whole lot of adversity before this Saturday game at home. Jeff, as you know, all these things are pretty adding up at this point, but there could be some light at the end of the tunnel. But with that being said, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's going to be an interesting game. That's all I could say. I don't have any feelings about if it's going to be a fun game to watch or if we're going to play extremely well. The good thing is that the Las Vegas Raiders have not been playing very good football. So they have an interim head coach. Might see all the tricks come out of the bag, which makes me nervous, but they're still in the hunt, which is annoying. If they only had 3 or 4 wins, I'd be way more enthused, even with all of our players out, but we're going to see.
Yeah, and absolutely a game where you probably going into it, you're thinking the Browns probably have this game after the spanking that the Raiders got last week. Even though they are a still in the hunt team, they are starting to look like they're breaking down every other week. But for the fun of this, I'm just looking at ESPN right now. I'm at the Cleveland Browns depth chart. I'm just going to go down top to bottom. It starts offense to defense. I'm just going to list the guys' statuses as are. With, if they have a red letter by their name. So let's start with quarterback, Baker Mayfield, out. Wide receiver, Jarvis Landry, out. Wide receiver, Anthony Schwartz, out. Tight end, Austin Hooper, out. Left tackle, Jedrick Wills Jr., out. Left guard, Joel Bitonio, questionable, he'll play. J.C. Treader, questionable, he'll play. Wyatt Teller, out. Then we go to the defensive side of the ball. Malik Jackson, questionable. Malik McDowell, out. Jadeveon Clowney, questionable. Anthony Walker, out. Tack McKinley, out. Ronnie Harrison Jr., out. Troy Hill, out. John Johnson III, out. Greg Newsom, out. Oh, yeah, and Jamie Gillen's still out. So
Kareem Hunt's out.
Oh, I forgot to mention Kareem Hunt, out. Harrison Bryant, questionable.
So, Ronnie Harrison. Did you say Ronnie Harrison?
I did say Ronnie Harrison.
Okay.
I did say Ronnie Harrison. So there's, you might have got lost in that whole laundry list of players. So that just gives you guys a little bit of an insight of how the Browns are faring going into this game. The thing to be known from what I am seeing here from, I don't know how to say his name correctly, Tom Pelissero. I'm just going to go with that. He's responding to the news of the new NFL protocol in terms of bringing players back and stuff. I'm just taking his third tweet out of the line. The key is the individual must be asymptomatic, as a majority of players who tested positive the past few days have been returned as possible as soon as the day after the initial positive test. So from what I've heard, the only person I've heard about apparently is Baker Mayfield is the asymptomatic case that I know of. But there is potential that there are other asymptomatic players on our team. So some guys could come back. Who knows? Kevin Stefanski's out. Forgot to mention that, by the way. He won't be coaching apparently. Jeff, what is your thought process with all this going on?
Well, I'm seeing Jeremy Fowler. Darren Waller is not expected to play. So that's big help. I wouldn't care really if it was just this concentrated area, but it's just everywhere. Yeah. I was having optimism until today when they put Ronnie Harrison on the list, because I was like, oh, we might have everybody on the defensive side. And then you hear Troy Hill, Greg Newsom wasn't going to play anyway, which is an issue that's not COVID related. But I think our D line is, do we have one position group that is not affected? Running back. No, running back, Kareem Hunt is out. We literally have somebody at every level out due to an injury, due to COVID. But just some weird things going on. I think that a lot of the guys might have reported asymptomatic. I know Dayton and Njoku was asymptomatic last week. Nice,
Yeah.
we're getting him back. That's the good news. Um, but yeah, Miles Garrett, 99 club in Madden. That's the good news. But this Raiders team is not very good though. It's literally
You know what
the
they're the
Troy Hill
worst
is
at?
bad because I wanted to play because Hunter Renfro plays in the slot. So if Troy Hill, that's the annoying part. So we'll see what they do with Hunter Renfro because he's literally their only offensive weapon.
Right. And I mean, they came here last year and beat us still, but the one thing that they are very bad at this year is the run defense. And at least you have Nick Chubb and you have Bill Callahan coaching this offensive line against a poor rushing defense. So you already got James Hudson's feet wet. You got Joel Bitonio. You got J.C. Treader. You have Andy Janovich. You're getting David Njoku back, and David Njoku thinks you're going to get Harrison Bryant back as well. You're just going to have to play what this team is known for, and that's running. And you got to let Case Keenum do what he was brought in here to do and make the easy throws like we saw him do against Denver and just, do what's needed to be done to get the win. Like, again, I'll take a 3-point victory like we did against Denver to win this game. That's all that matters at the end of the day. The defense has still got to, we're going to have to see. I hate seeing Tack McKinley out because that 3-man rotation of Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, and Tack McKinley is deadly. But we're just going to have to see guys pick up the slack a little bit, for a nice part, our linebackers aren't any different from last week to this week. So hopefully Jeremiah was playing the majority of snaps, which is fantastic. Jacob Phillips was getting his feet wet. Hopefully he'll get to play a little bit more. But then you move on to our DBs. You still have Denzel Ward and you still have Greedy Williams. And then you go to safety and you don't really have a lot. You have Grant Delpit, who played his best game last game. And then ironically, you have MJ Stewart listed as the next free safety, and Richard
they're going to put him in the slot.
Yeah, and then you have Richard LeCount back there, as well as Javante Moffett, one of my guys from last year that was an undrafted free agent who was getting a lot of playing time during the preseason. So I'm interested to see how that works out. But again, not an ideal situation for your Cleveland Browns here. And what is, a must-win game, because the next game we're all thinking that we're going to drop it. So it's really tough to get into this one other than, hopefully guys maybe get activated because they're asymptomatic and you're at home. So hopefully the home, a West Coast team coming all the way out here to play a Midwest team, hopefully that helps a little bit, but man, oh man, is this just a tough beat. The only like positive that I took out of and this is not going to sound any good in all honesty, but the only positive that I took from this is like, hey, Baker Mayfield gets like a week to rest his injuries and stuff, like his actual injuries instead of everything else. But at the end of the day, he might still end up getting activated and game played anyway. So I truly don't know where to go with this other than like the biggest thing that I'm scared of is just the efficiency that we've seen coming out of the offense going against this team. And then, I feel like Derek Carr just is not, it's just going to be willing to just sling the ball all over the field to get a win. So
the news from Pelissero is interesting. I guess if we're extremely lucky, we could get people back. If that is true, that they're implementing that as soon as possible with people who test asymptomatic, which, like you said, it could be positive. You could test positive and then be back the next day after the initial positive test, which would be interesting.
Weird to read into it.
Yeah.
It's very detailed.
I'm not understanding it now. There's a lot of things I'm not understanding, but if you could figure out a way to win this game, and I am not completely pessimistic about our makeshift offensive line, I think they're good enough to play. They're still NFL football players. Right. We're going to have guys out of position, but That's fine. This Raiders run defense is not very good, 25th in the league, I believe, coming into this week. So it's unlucky we are at a point in time where our starters on the offensive line have not been blocking very well in the run game. I don't think our running backs have been playing particularly well either. But maybe we get some backups in there, guys that are hungry, guys that literally have not played snaps all year long. If you could find a way to win this game, give Baker a week off.
And it's confirmed, just you making that point right now. I'm reading from Daryl Ryder, the elevation of Nick Mullins as a COVID replacement means Baker Mayfield will not play Saturday. So it's official that he will not play. Well, I don't know, but I think it's official.
Yeah, I would think so as well. They got to take a lot of precautionary measures though. But if you could somehow win this game, and of course the NFL, it's the time of the year where the college football doesn't play, so we need to get some games on Saturday because Roger Goodell would have Saturday games. If college football didn't exist, I mean, I would too. I would flex Thursday games to Saturday, of course, but they got to get there. Of course, it's that with the first week where they're getting cute with the Saturday game, so we have to activate people Friday at 4 p.m. if I'm understanding the rules correctly, because on normal weeks you have to activate people Saturday at 4 p.m. for Sunday games. So of course we get an extra or a lesser of a day. But baby, we got Aaron Rodgers. He's not having his toe hurts. So you never know. We could get people active, win this game, and then we could be playing Green Bay on Christmas Day without Aaron Rodgers. Who knows? So if you could get this job done, he gets his foot stepped on. We're playing Jordan Love in Lambeau Field. So let's just win this week is all I'm saying.
All right. That being said, Jeff, what are you having this score being?
I'm going to say, hopefully it rains all game and sleets and hails and no natural disasters though, of course. No golf ball size hail, but I'm saying 6-0 Browns, and it's a Nick Chubb touchdown and we missed the extra point.
Wow. I'm not going to get that bad because I don't think the weather calls for any of that. I'm going to look it up really quickly.
It's supposed to be bad. It's supposed to be raining.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It's going to be
history repeats itself. You remember the Raiders game last year? They took the Jarvis Landry touchdown away from us off the board, and we totally should have beat them. And Derek Carr is an inferior talent, even though he's having a pretty good year.
Oh my goodness, you're right. It's a
good game for you to miss.
I'm just gonna, for real.
They're like, Justin's not coming to this game.
What was the score of the Denver game? I'm just gonna say it's 17-14 Browns.
Okay.
I think that's what the score of the Broncos game was, right?
Or 17. 17-14.
I'm just gonna go 17-14. 2 touchdowns, a field goal, and we barely hold them. The defense holds them, and we, kind of have some good stuff and not so good stuff on offense. So 17-14 Browns win, pull it out on Saturday. They get to rest a little bit. Guys get to rest. Right. Hopefully all the guys are asymptomatic and not symptomatic, because then they get to go into Green Bay a little bit healthier with a little bit of a longer break. So, sure. Jeff, anything else with this? What would call it?
No, if we win this game, I mean, there's nothing. This is we talk about this with the Cavs. Like, I have nothing to learn from this game. If we win it, I'm going to be like, okay. And if we lose, I'm going to be like, well, I don't know. I don't know how you could have us favorites in this game, even at first energy, but onward we go.
Onward we go. Well, guys, I didn't say at the top, but if you made it all this way, please make sure you are subscribing. We've had a lot of great interaction with our Cavs stuff and a lot of subscribers joining us recently. So if you're coming from the Cavs stuff over to the Brown stuff, we'd love to have you. Great to have you. If you're here for the Brown stuff, just know that we do have our Cavs stuff going on right now, and we will have Guardian stuff in the future. I keep saying stuff, content, but make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave a like, leave a comment, what you think is going to happen with this game, with everything that's going on with COVID now again. Can't believe we're back at this, but this is what happens. This is what happens. And just when the Browns are, when you think they're back in it, this curveball comes at us. So it is what it is. But with that being said, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.